Hello, this is Honest Claude, and this is James. My name is Eric. Would you say that you've been a lifetime Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the character of Rey?
Yes.
Do you know the Zillo Beast?
Yes.
What do you think about my conspiracy from my YouTube channel is that Rey has partial Zillo Beast DNA?
I've never even heard of that.
Well, it's something that I talk about on the channel all the time. I like to ask Star Wars fans about. So, have you watched Bad Batch?
No, I haven't seen that.
Have you watched Clone Wars?
Yes.
The 3D anime?
Yes.
Okay. So, you remember this giant kaiju creature called the Zillo Beast?
Yes.
In Bad Batch, we see Mount Tantus take in the Zillo Beast. Mount Tantus, in Legends and canon, is behind like bringing back the Emperor. So, if the Emperor already took an interest in this creature, and this creature absorbs electricity and becomes more powerful, we're saying the reason that they splice the DNA of this creature to create the clone Emperor. Would you agree?
That's possible. That's very possible. It's plausible theory.
And we know who the lineage of the Emperor is. That's
Yes.
Rey. Whether you like it or not, that's canon.
Yeah, it's a granddaughter.
Well, you know, Strandcast, clone father.
Yeah.
You know how it gets in canon.
Yeah.
Needlessly complicated. But can you think of anything from the movies that might back up this conspiracy?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Can you enlighten me on some fan theories here?
I will gladly do it. So, in Last Jedi, Rey gets a bad burn on her arm from the Praetorian Guards.
Yes.
In the next movie, it's not there. Now, the real life reason is that the prop team put the leather strap over the wrong section of the arm. But that's the Star Wars fan has to think of a complicated reason for why, it's like this in canon. Well, wouldn't that be a very lizard-like way of regenerating?
Yes. Yeah, that would be a very plausible theory there.
In the next movie, she's able to calm Vex's snake. Actually, that's lizard recognized lizard. I know.
Very interesting theories.
I just can't say the word.
I've been a Star Wars fan. I'm almost 50 years old, and I've been a Star Wars fan since like 1980. Back when I was a little kid, and I've never heard these theories.
Well, I mean, some of these concepts, weren't around.
Yeah.
At least until Zillo Beast wasn't created, I think, until 2010, 2000. But yeah, anyway, in Rise of Skywalker, the evil version of Rey has what in her mouth? Razor, lizard-like teeth.
Very interesting theory. That's a very interesting theory.
I mean, obviously, you entertain this conspiracy, but are you a true believer, as they say, like Stan Lee would say?
I don't know if I would truly believe that, but that is definitely a plausible theory.
Do you have any Star Wars conspiracies that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about?
I wouldn't say any conspiracies. We always grew up with our biggest conspiracy is who shot first, Greedo or Han.
I mean, that's less of a conspiracy,
Yeah.
that's more of like, at least what kind of version of the movie.
Yeah.
But obviously, the original version is that Han shot only.
Yeah.
There was no Greedo shooting.
No Greedo shooting at all.
Well, I don't want to hold you up too much for your time, but is there anything you want to say or anything you want to plug before I close out?
But I do appreciate you asking me the question because I've never heard of that, and I do find that like every aspect of the Star Wars world I find it fascinating. And let me ask you a personal question: have you seen the Obi-Wan series?
Yes, I have.
What did you think of it?
I really like it. Up until I watched the second season of Andor, it was my favorite Star Wars live action show. But season 2 topped it off for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like it a little more because I did have some little bit tiny issues. Nothing crazy with the first one. One of the personal issues is that as much as good as writing it has, it's very down. I think they made the second season a little more, not necessarily funny, but more contemplative funny the way they wrote certain scenes, especially when Andor gets to that one planet and he's stuck with a TIE fighter. A lot of the bickering between extra characters, and I like that. It feels like part of the story is telling it, but it doesn't feel like oh my gosh, it's just dread all the time.
I think that's one of the best things about Star Wars too, is a little bit of humor that they always kind of put into all their movies.
Right.
And I think that kind of adds life to the characters instead of making them dull and boring. So if you think of a lot of the characters, they always have these little one-line quips that are always kind of catchy and funny.
Thank you for your time, sir.
I appreciate it.
Hello, this is Honest Claude. As you can tell by my shirt. What is your name?
My name is Jazz.
Jazz?
Jazz, yes.
Okay, my name's Eric.
Eric?
Would you consider yourself a big Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know Rey?
Yes, I do.
Do you know the Zillo Beast?
Not really, no. I didn't watch the newest movie. I don't.
No, you don't need to watch the movies to know this. If you watch animation, you would well, hopefully it would ring a bell for you. This is the Zillo Beast. Okay, so if you watch the Clone Wars and you watch Bad Batch, you'll see this creature. In Clone Wars, we see that Emperor takes a liking and interest in this creature when it gets, taken in. It's basically a huge kaiju.
Okay, yeah.
And in Bad Batch, we see that one got loose and it gets affected into Mount Tantus. They already will be destroying a bunch of new infrastructure because it absorbs electricity and becomes powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So my conspiracy is that Rey has some Zillo Beast DNA.
I can't deny that. Actually, that might have to be an actual theory. Something the Emperor would do would be putting actual beast, and he's done that before with Vader, and when he was trying to replace Vader with other cloned disciples, and Vader had to fight other clones. They would have had other beasts in them to improve their force connection. So it would not be surprising if Rey was an extension of that and with that beast in it.
So you see the breadcrumbs I'm laying down
Yeah.
that Mount Tantus fiction this creature, and it would make sense that if they want to make a fully powerful Emperor clone, that they would, use some of that DNA, and Rey is genetically lineaged to the Emperor, this Emperor clone.
Yes.
So if he was, if he has some Zillo Beast DNA, she does too.
Correct. Yes.
Now, can you think of anything from the Sequel Trilogy that would help back up this crazy conspiracy that I have?
Well, I'm gonna go from the comics. Like I said before, one of the original Darth Vader comics, it was that during Vader's rise to power with the Emperor never fully trusted Darth Vader, but he constantly tested him to make him hate him, to make him stronger. So, and every time Anakin, he always overdid it. So one of the things I mentioned before, he fought 4 clones that were supposed to replace him if he ever failed. And they already heavily force sensitive, and he fought all of them. All of them were different in very various ways. I don't remember exactly how different, but they all had different beats and different powers and different things going on with them. And he beat all of them, which made him solidified as the disciple of the Emperor. But I also want to see at the same time Vader constantly tried to overthrow the Emperor as well. But the Emperor also shown another comic book was experimenting in splicing the DNA and adding other creatures, people, and things into that. So which I'm pretty sure led to Rey's birth and also the revival of Emperor as well. So
I have no issue with what you said, but it didn't quite answer the question. I said, is there anything from the Sequel Trilogy specifically?
The Sequel Trilogy, not that I can think of. Only thing I know of, because I'm more of an older fan. I haven't really watched anything.
You seem to be more Legends-minded.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm more Legends-minded. I haven't really absorbed most of the new stuff outside of the first 2 movies. So everything that you're bringing to me is new knowledge, which I'm also will be using it for my own.
Okay, have you at least watched all of the saga movies?
Besides the last one, yeah. The very, very last one.
Even if you don't like it, you should at least watch it at least once in your life.
I mean, someone told me because they bringing back Emperor Palpatine and making Rey Skywalker kind of rubs me the wrong way. When they told me that, I kind of did not. I'm going to have to. I mean, obviously, I'm a boost I'm just at work.
To me, I know, it wouldn't register as much as the audience, but do you know I thought would be more powerful than her calling herself Skywalker? Her calling herself Organa.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because you can rearrange the movie so Leia's legacy is more important to the overall narrative, and you get established, oh, this is her name, this is her name, and I want to be like her. I see her as like my surrogate mother. I think, and it'll also be like, a good, more sending off for Carrie Fisher, of course, because, he wasn't able to record anything for that movie.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I feel like I would have been more comfortable with that, honestly, too. Because truthfully, some of the movies I saw before the last one, all of that, she kind of already was taking up that role, was supposed to take up that role.
Or, it's fine enough for her to be, I'm Ray Nobody, and I'm still a hero.
Exactly. I 100% agree.
It's almost like that's a bigger, better character arc than she has to find something necessarily. But anyway, the things I point to is that in Last Jedi she gets a bad burn on her shoulder.
Okay.
In the next movie, it's not there.
It's not?
Yeah.
Did they remove that?
Okay. Now, the real reason is that, the prop team puts the leather band on her arm in the wrong place.
Okay.
But we have to think of, like, why is it moving?
Right.
Much like, Kylo Ren's scar moving.
Right.
Why is it that way? So I said, it seems like something Elizabeth would do of this cell regeneration.
You know what? The more you explain this theory to me, the more I'm like, it's not even a theory anymore. It's more basically fact at this point.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in the theory category because I can't back up what you're saying because I don't know.
Okay, number 2. In Rise of Skywalker, this is not really much of a spoiler, she is able to heal a Vexus snake and able to calm it. It's a huge snake creature.
Okay, we know Force Jedi can do that. Yes,
Okay,
that makes sense.
but I joke around, but why she's able to calm it is because Lizard recognized Lizard.
Again,
I know, technically stakes are not Lizard. That's beside the point.
no, I mean, still,
The
reptilian enough that they recognize each other, yeah.
Okay, and the last thing is that in the movie, there's a brief part where Rey sees the evil version of herself.
Okay.
And the evil version of herself has sharp razor teeth. I'm like a lizard does, like a Zillo beast does.
The more you explain this to me, the more I'm like, this is what they were going for, and then someone with a worse writing skills removed it and kept certain things in there.
Well, if you're interested in this and other Star Wars conspiracy I've talked about, you can obviously check out my podcast. Would you like to shout out your business?
So I work for a company called DX Sabers. We do a lot of replicas of bunch of sabers, and all types of things. We also do other Star Wars as well. We currently have a Red Ranger. I have one right here, if you don't mind me grabbing it real quick. We have stuff like this. I have a Red Ranger, power source from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I also have the He-Man lightsaber. I have Green Rangers, all types of stuff. Then we kind of do kind of cool stuff. We all have including lightsabers too, so they all made to last. With all other type of stuff. And very durable, blades and everything else. So you can check us out.
Thank you for having being on the channel.
No problem. Thank you, Eric, for having me.
Hello, this is Donna's Claude. I'm here with
Tom. Marcel.
Okay. I think it's safe to say that you are all big Star Wars fans, right?
Yes.
Okay. You know Ray?
Yes.
Okay. You know the Zillo Beast?
Yes.
My conspiracy on my Star Wars YouTube channel, Honest Claude, is that Ray has some Zillo Beast DNA.
Why?
Okay. So, you familiar with Mount Tantus?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you watched Bad Batch?
Yes.
Okay. And you watched at least the first couple seasons of Clone Wars.
We watched all those films.
Okay, alright. So, if you remember, the Emperor has a keen interest in the Zillo Beast.
Yes, he did.
Okay? And then it gets brought into Mount Tantus years later.
Yep.
Okay, so, wouldn't it make sense that they genetically spliced the Emperor, the reanimated Emperor, to be part Zillo Beast because they can absorb electricity because it's more powerful? Okay? If that is the case, that means that Rey, who is genetically directly connected, descended from the Emperor, this new reanimated Emperor version, that she is part Zillo Beast.
Explain the team.
Yes.
Oh, the top teeth?
Yeah, Darth Ray.
Exactly. That's one of the things I point to. Also, in Last Jedi, we see that she gets a bad burn on her arm. It's gone in the next movie. Now, the real reason is that they put the prop in the wrong spot and they're supposed to cover. But
In lore reasons.
How about that knife that disappeared?
I mean, that's just a projection, really. But I'm like, let's be honest, all Star Wars movies have production errors.
Sure.
It's just, we are in the internet age, and we're like, oh, look at that thing that happened. But the point is that she has razor sharp teeth in the evil version of herself. She is able to heal like a lizard apparently, and when she comes in contact with the Vexus, is the lizard recognized lizard?
When she's in that sand, when they come down with the sand.
I'm sorry, Luke, you trained them.
Yeah. So I feel like. So,
They met her like a day. And then I died.
Terrible movie.
So I feel like if Dr. Pershing picks up some lizard scales, I feel like I'm personally owed a check by Lucasfilm for the conspiracy that I offered.
I mean, it's an insane theory, but if it's true,
That explains some things. Also explains the teeth.
it could also be because she's played by British. British people do have notoriously bad teeth.
They do?
Please cut that out. Do not put this part in the video. That was a joke.
Y'all seem to be buying that pretty fast. So I'm like, maybe I need to turn up the heat on my conspiracies. Maybe Zillo Rey isn't enough.
Fine, one more theory, then we gotta get it.
Okay. I believe that the Alien franchise is in the same continuity as Star Wars.
Quite possible. I mean, any number of like strange Star Wars creatures could eventually. I mean, we're talking a galaxy that's like, you know, a long time ago before us, and aliens take place in the future, right?
What if aliens is just the future of the Star Wars?
That's the thing. Like, there's plenty of creatures that could obviously, like, for example, what if Geonosians came back? You know, because there was that one fleet hive of rebels, and after millions of years of evolution, there's the xenomorph.
Well,
When they have the brain, wait, they have more creature theory. They have the brain parasites as their larvae.
True, they do.
And you know, the xenomorph has that like stage where, you know, the face of her humps you full of a baby that bursts out of your chest.
Pretty xenomorphish. Actually almost exactly, yeah.
But full.
I like that as an adjective. Xenomorphish. But what I point to is, why are there so many humans in the Star Wars galaxy?
Because they evolved from a different species of
colonizing planets.
And that's unfortunate.
What chimp have we seen in Star Wars?
Well, that one guy from Return of the Jedi just count. Kind of chimpish.
My point is, I'm like,
Not that ish.
what if we went with the idea that came from Prometheus, which is part of the Alien franchise?
Yeah.
That engineers have involvement in the vast evolution of humanity. I'm like, because that would also explain why humans can have children with non-human aliens like Twi'leks.
Well, actually, that was because of the ricotta. They made a lot of species because they found out humans have an innate ability to like appropriate. No. They found out they had an innate ability with the Force. So I was like, we're gonna create a bunch of humanoid species, see how they would, you know, deal with Force because we're losing our Force sensitivity.
Well, how much is that in modern canon?
Oh, okay, good point. I don't know.
But I'm like,
If Knights of the Old Republic isn't canon, I don't know. It's dubiously canon.
I mean, there's like many ideas that have transferred over, but that story is from the Legends pre-acquisition continuity.
Well, then I guess this theory is going to take a while before that shit gets
But
finished.
at the same time, like, both franchises are both owned by the same company. Disney owns Alien, and they both now own Star Wars too.
That's why there's a Marvel and Alien crossover.
Exactly. So, but I'm like, he can explain why there's so many humans everywhere. He can explain how they're able to have children together. There's a couple of different creatures in the Star Wars universe that are very much like xenomorphs. Like we read
Geonosians, like we just said.
even more than that. If you read Red, White, and Black's Darth Vader, there's like a Gris type creature that is like almost exactly like the way that they like put humans into sacks and they feed off of them. In the High Republic, comics, there's a creature that basically looks like xenomorph except for the long, phallic head. And you would say that's because.
Right, that just comes along.
Because either it's a genetic ancestor.
Alright. Is there anything you want to close or say before we close out?
Subscribe to my channel, Mugman. Do a lot of cosplay and custom figure stuff.
Follow Somewhere in Space on Instagram. I want to ask more Star Wars questions.
And this has been
Honest Claude.
Hello, this is Honest Claude, and I'm here with Teresa. And I understand that you are a Star Wars fan. Am I correct in that? How long have you been a fan?
Back in the early 70s, late 70s.
Okay, so you've been there. You're an OG.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Have you watched the Sequel Trilogy at all? Nothing?
I did Star Wars for a while, then I went to the other, like Marvel comics. So I haven't watched Star Wars in a while, to be honest.
Okay, so do you have any idea who Rey is? Any idea? Like, you know what she looks like? Okay, so that's what Rey looks like. Okay? In the sequel trilogy, she is the new hero, much like Luke and Anakin in the previous trilogies, right? Now, in the latest installment, there's a huge bombshell dropped in the audience that her grandfather is Palpatine, Emperor, okay? Have you watched any of the Clone Wars? Okay, in the Clone Wars, there is a creature called the Zillo Beast. It's similar to Godzilla, but it looks like a gecko. It's called a Zillo Beast. Okay? My conspiracy is that Rey is part Zillo Beast, their DNA. The reason I say this is because the same place that is behind cloning the Emperor, come back from the dead, because we saw him get shot, get down the chute by Darth Vader, right? Is that the reason he's back is because they helped experiment on him. They spliced the DNA with this creature, because this creature can absorb electricity and become more powerful. That seems beneficial to someone like the Emperor who shoots out, lightning all the time. So, if that is the case, if they splice his DNA, this is the grandfather. Rey will be part of that. And you see in the movie, she's able to seemingly heal from a bad cut in her arm and say, well, that's like a lizard.
Right. I kind of thought about that, but I never have been, honestly, I would say, 100% sure, but I have thought about it.
Okay.
It looks
Another
good.
reason that I say
I'm starving, so I know it'll be good.
part Zillo is because in the last movie, she's able to calm the kind of sick and like, well, that's like a lizard, recognize a lizard. What do you think about that?
You know what? Like this research, like you just said. So although it does show signs of her being there, it's just that not 100%.
Okay, and the last thing is that when she sees an evil version of herself, the evil version of herself has sharp razor teeth, like a lizard does. So I feel like if Lucasfilm confirms any of this, I feel like it personally owes a check as the company for coming out with this conspiracy, because I would have been proven perfectly correct.
Right. I agree 100%. Hoping one day we'll find out the answer to that. But I do agree with a lot of things that you brought up.
I appreciate your time, Teresa.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Ron Squad. I'm here with Ben, who is a cosplayer, as you can see by his Mandalorian outfit. Ben, I run a YouTube channel called Honest Squad.
Awesome.
And there's a Star Wars conspiracy that I have. I want to see if anyone knows about it and what they think about it.
Awesome. Send it on my way.
Okay, so you know the character Rey, right?
Yes.
Okay, you know the Zillo Beast?
The Zillo Beast. Yes, the Zillo Beast, and it actually was so force sensitive that it was hunting. It's really funny you said Zillo Beast, actually, because for the longest time, I was using a red leather that looks like dragon scale as part of my armor. It's on my shoulder bells, and I have a couple other parts that have it. But I couldn't find the thing in the universe that was red until I remembered about the Zillo Beast having some kind of red coloration. So for a while, I was thinking about the Zillo Beast as something my character had hunted. Yeah, so I'm familiar.
Glad you know about the Zillo Beast, because I'm fascinated by the Zillo Beast. I talk about it a lot because my conspiracy is that Rey has some Zillo Beast DNA in her blood.
I would absolutely believe that. I would also believe that Rey has a little bit of Grogu. I think that when Project Necromancer completely takes over Gideon's cloning project from whatever remnants are left of it, because those warlords are scrappy. They're going after anything that obviously, the man's in the building. We can track him down, but we know he's not done. There's no way. I don't care if he exploded. How many clones we saw versus how many clones a man like that would have.
You're on the right track of me talking about the other necromancy and Black and Mount Tantus.
Yes.
And that they are behind, reanimating / cloning the Emperor. And we know that he's a grandfather or some kind of parental connection.
But you're not trying to say that Luke is Luke, right?
No. I'm not on the new train. But I'm saying that if Rey is genetically, connected to the Emperor,
right.
And this new Emperor was experimented on, and they take in the Zillo Beast into Bad Batch, wouldn't they use the power and ability to absorb electricity to become more powerful, like the Zillo Beast does? So maybe they splice the DNA, so Rey comes from that. It means that she'll be part Zillo.
Yeah, because her father was just Strandcast.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and so there's no reason to think that he would have been genetically pure in any way. Like, as far as I don't want to say genetically pure. I'll rephrase that as genetically identical to Palpatine. Right. He would have been mucked around with as opposed to unmucked around with.
Right. Yeah, you're the person that's able to follow the most of the breadcrumbs. I'm talking about any Star Wars thing.
I spend a lot of time on Wikipedia.
I feel that. I'm always looking at rough shit-ups.
Or just trying to see how can I make my Mando fill holes in canon that they're not going to be bothered with. I'm not interested in things that are there's so much in the first season of The Mandalorian that's filled in the second season or the third season, holes and gaps and whatnot, they explain things. But there's a lot of things that even the comics are just kind of we're just not going to, there's nothing of value there.
So I backed up my conspiracy with other things from the sequel trilogy. We see in Last Jedi, Rey gets a bad burn on her arm fighting Praetorians.
Yep.
The next movie, it's gone. Now, the real reason is that they put the leather strap in the wrong spot on the shoulder. So I'm it seems like some kind of cell regeneration, like a lizard did.
Yeah, I mean, she's shown to have the Jedi's gifted healing. She uses it twice in the last in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really cool thing to see. Bridge the gap between the Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett stuff, and the Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, there's no coincidence that they had Grogu heal a few weeks before the movie came out. That's corporate synergy right there.
And I mean, I think the biggest conspiracy to me is going to be how do they. I want to know what's going to be their in-universe explanation for the death of Carl Weathers. Is it going to keep
RP?
Right. We can't have it just be the pirates came back from revenging out one guy or something. And it's obvious that Navarro hasn't been razzed yet. It's still in place. Sigourney Weaver is there now, but she's obviously not the magistrate. She's there on a Republic capacity. So I think that if there isn't a conspiracy theory around the death of Greef Karga, there needs to be.
Interesting. Now, another thing I point to of why Rey is Zillo Beast is the sequel trilogy is that she's able to become the Nexus Snake. And I joke around saying that's a lizard recognized lizard. I know technically snakes are not lizards.
But reptile, yeah.
Yeah. And third is that in Rise of Skywalker, when she sees the evil version of herself, what's in the mouth of that evil version?
Zillo Beast's teeth. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
wow.
lizard-like teeth, yeah. So, if in any future material we see Rey start shedding her skin, and we see that.
I mean, you got to think. Where'd she go? Where'd she go back to?
Yeah.
She went back to a desert planet where she can be all snaky and no one will ever notice because she'll be just like she buried the Skywalker twin sabers, just sunk them into the sand like a sidewinder. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say that she's half Krayt Dragon.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, if we get any confirmation, if we get any confirmation, we see Dr. Pershing, who's one of my favorite characters from the Mandalorian franchise, is that if we see him messing with lizard scales, I feel like I'm owed a check personally by Lucasfilm.
Speaking of somebody who has invested a serious amount of money in either direct Lucasfilm IP or related materials. I think we're all kind of owed a little bit from Lucasfilm. Like, if nothing, just a credit on a film or something.
Or,
you know what I mean?
you know, the Marvel Low No Prize.
Yeah, exactly.
At least give me one of them. Like, have it be physically mailed to me, and it has like a little plaque on it.
Yeah, just something that's like, well, we get it. You were born in '83, or born in '81, so you were 2 when Return of the Jedi came out.
Yeah.
You were weaned on this shit. We understand. We're sorry that we got you hooked on collecting all figures.
But yeah, a friend of mine, a Star Wars podcaster named Pete Fletcher, SSW Network, he makes fun of me saying that one day Jason Ridley would just be voicing a Zillo Beast. Like, at one point, it went from Sigourney Weaver and Alien 4, like, where she just has, you know, monster-like qualities and, you know, sharp nails. But then it's going to go even further. It's going to be like Super Saiyan. Instead of turning into a monkey, he turns into a lizard.
You know, she could go full. What's that? That manga where the guy turns into a kaiju. Kaiju number 7, number 8, something like that. All I know is I ordered a Cyberpunk figure from Temu and they sent me that guy instead. So I had to start doing it. Well, he looks like Godzilla, but he's like a dude.
So you want to show off the helmet before we close out? Look
My
at
J
beautiful.
guys, and a little bit of a little Ahsoka callback there on the Togruta-esque
Markings. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ben. You've been a great interview guest, and I'll definitely, put this somewhere.